It's time for the LJN Fight Night Podcast. Hosted by The Plan, Zaash Mann. The Victorian, Brother Brutus Valentine. And everyone's favorite man all up in smoke, Duarte Da Ponte. Ladies and gentlemen, they're ready to rumble, so let's go to the studio. Take it away, Zaash Mann.
How we going, guys and girls? We're back for our second edition of the LJN Fight Night. I'm sitting here outside because I've got no bloody internet, got lots of issues going on. So if there's glitches, forgive me. I'm on Wi-Fi. That's why we've got a few minutes delay. Boys, Duarte, Brutus, how are we?
I'm not bad.
I'm not sure if we've got a stream online though.
What do you mean?
It says live. It says we're live for already a minute and 10 seconds.
Okay, I missed it. That's the
okay,
that's
guys.
the internet
Comment for us, please. Let's see if we are live because it says live, so we've got to be live, right?
Must be.
I'm going to look on Facebook right now on everyone's favorite group.
Got it.
LJN Elite Custom Figures. We're on there, are we? Hello, LJN Elite Custom Figures, the best LJN group in the Southern Hemisphere anyway. Well, there's a few good ones. I won't say we're the best. We're just one of the good ones. Come on, boys. Dig me out of this one.
Well, I mean, in the days of the internet, people do one thing, say they're the best at everything. And considering we have one episode, it's not unusual for people to say they're the best that ever was, the best that's ever been, and best that ever will be. I don't know who would have said that, but
it was a successful first night. You know, little glitches here and there, but it happens.
Yeah, are your smoke alarms working up there?
No, I definitely had to take the batteries out because it would be going off all day and night, right?
Yeah,
so,
but I'd like a toasted cheese and tomato sandwich would look nice, but I think you left it in for too long.
No. If I had the fire alarm working right now, oh my God, it'd be going off all day.
Hey guys, we've got a killer guest on tonight. Look, he's not LJN. In Australia, we've got Ford and Holden. What's in America? Is it Chevy and Mustang or something? You know, the ones that go head to head. Well, Hasbro and LJN head to head. Who do you want? Of course, we're all LJN guys in this group mostly. But is that a beer you're drinking, Brutus?
No, it's too early in the day for that. It's a Pepsi Max.
Oh, Pepsi Max with a bit of scotch. All right. Well, look. We're gonna bring him on. He's a Hasbro man, but he did grow up with LJN, and you'll get the Hasbro influenced LJN influenced Hasbros shortly when we show you some pics. Peter Poulos. Peter Poulos.
Hey guys.
How are you?
Hey, Peter,
to sunny Sydney.
Sunny Sydney. Yeah.
Hey, Peter lives a stone throw away from me, and I'm actually popping around to Pete's this afternoon to pick up a couple of bits and pieces. We help each other out where possible, you know, like all guys do in this business, this community.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good point because Duarte only lives a stone throw away from everyone.
Yeah,
you got it. That's good.
I'm dealing with three Aussies here right now.
Pity you.
We'll be right. He's choking on his smoke.
I'm gonna have to figure out what you guys are saying when all three Aussies are talking together.
Yeah. Well, there's definitely some sick accents coming from
the reach of the lines and the love for them, you know, through to Canada, down to Australia, and into New Zealand. So.
Hey, you know, I was mentioning before Peter came on when I was introducing him, he does LJN influenced Hasbros. So I think you're about the same age as me, Peter. You grew up with LJNs, but you sort of ventured into Hasbros, eh?
Yeah. So I mean, I was probably too old to collect Hasbros, but never stopped anyone. Does it? The Hasbros came out when I was about 16. So I think I bought my first one when I was 16. So I was definitely too old to be still buying toys. But I'm now 46 and I'm still buying toys. So who cares?
Yes.
Definitely LJNs were the first things. Wrestling wise, that when I found out that they were making wrestling figures, I was crazy. And and I bought I had a stack, maybe 30 or 40 of them. And I've let them go recently. I've replaced them all with equivalent Hasbro scale figures that I made myself.
So 30 or 40 LJN. So you must have had just about all that was down here. And before we
there was a few that I didn't have, and my dad used to travel a bit, so I ended up getting some ones from over. I mean, I've got to give my dad props for carrying those bloody things back from America in a suitcase. But he came back once with with about 4 or 5 of them stuck in his suitcase.
Were they the ones that I ended up getting, Peter?
You did, yeah. You got those, yeah.
So they all got cut up.
Yeah. That's fine, I mean, they were in no condition to be displayed. So, because I beat those things to hell. They didn't have. I don't think one of them had a full paint job on it. So, and even some of them, I even tried to customize myself when I was a kid and had, So from an early age, I always wanted to make my own ones, but just never got around to doing it.
I've told a brief story before in the past where I've got very fond memories of being in toy shops, and whilst I owned LJNs, I also used to pick up packets of even LJNs that I already owned at home, and I'd sit there, drooling over them in a packet in the toy shop, wanting another one of the same figure. I was that into them. So that's why the ones in packets still for me hold a fond memory of me holding them in the toy shop, whereas the loose ones hold a memory of me playing with them. My mum would be shopping for hours, and I'd sit there holding the wrestling figures in my hands, holding them and looking at them for a few hours. Which we couldn't always afford to buy them, but
they weren't cheap. They were like $10 back in the day, which is that's like $40-$50 now when you think about it. So
which brings me on the next point, because I can remember walking into the toy shop and looking for the LJNs, and they were gone in the same spot as I always look at them. Even if they're the same figures I look at every week, I'd still want to look at them. And the Hasbro's were in their spot, and the disappointment on me was immense. I could not even fathom anyone wanting this figure that was half the size, and it felt light. It wasn't a toy to me. But I've ended up growing a love for Hasbro's as well. Now I've got nearly the full collection of them. But I'm going to chuck on a video of some of your customs. Now you done a Hasbro. You customize Hasbro's, and you've done a collection of pretty much doing almost every LJN looking figure in Hasbro form.
Yep.
So we're gonna play a video if my glitchy Wi-Fi lets me.
Oh, that's good.
So as you can see, Pete's done LJN looking Hasbro's.
How many have you done? Sorry,
which is pretty cool, but it's not really playing the video the way I'd like
I think
it to.
in the LJN style, I've done probably about close to 50, I think.
Oh, you're almost there.
And then, but overall, I've done, I've lost count.
Hundreds.
So, hundreds, literally. Probably close to 1,000 I've probably made.
And you cast
many hundreds,
And you cast your own parts, right? The torso.
No, like now I use all casted parts now. So it's so much more cost effective, and we've lost.
Zaash is gone.
It's so much more cost effective to cast them, and they're and it gives me a bit more freedom about what I can do. I don't have to worry about cutting up a $60 figure to make someone if I don't want to. So I mean, for example, Yokozuna Hasbro, I don't know if he's $60, $70, $80 to buy. I'd never make a custom out of a figure that costed that much. So I just casted one, and he can make pretty much anyone you want.
So, is that Haystacks?
Haystacks, yeah.
Nice.
Hey, stack
That's got some weight in it. Hey,
And of course, by you casting, by you saving money, it's good. But also just shipping. Like if you were to buy like 5 figures from the US, the shipping would kill you. You buy figures from Canada, it would kill you. So you're better off just casting it because you save more just on the shipping. Because I know shipping to Australia is goddamn expensive.
And at the moment, you can't even. I've got stuff that can't be sent. Have you at the moment?
That's why whenever I send stuff there, I send in the Titanic because it's going to get there in 2 months, no matter what. If I ship it express, it takes a month and a half. I ship it on the Titanic, takes 2 months, but it gets there. That's all I care.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, at the moment, mail out of US to Australia is suspended, or packages are, but mail in is still coming from here. So US guys, if you want to pick up a copy of the Complete Guide to LJN Superstars.
I was actually going to talk about that. But I was going to say it's been it's a 1 year anniversary of that, eh?
Yeah.
It's been 1 year since you've shipped us out, and you sent a couple books to my place, and I was one of the Canadian Connects, and I met a lot of guys from the forums here. I think I met like Victor Diab, Joe Sprox, a couple more guys. I can't remember. I'm not going to remember everyone's name now.
Back. The man's back. The man with the plan.
Oh, he's back. Yeah.
Yeah, I am back. You only just noticed, didn't you?
Well, one of the things we should say to guys in North America, and it's questioned on the forums a lot, is the Hasbro green cards. Peter, did you ever find any Hasbro green cards down here back in the day?
Oh, I had a box of them.
Yep. And how much did you pay for those little ones?
I thought, I had my loose collection, and then I had a bunch still on card, and they were on clearance. I was buying them for $5 in 95, 96.
Yeah, and then they went down to $3 in Kmart. I had heaps. I used to swap them up with a guy in upstate New York for LJNs back in the early days. Yeah. And as Duarte said, the shipping used to take 3 months to get up and 3 months to get back. But they were here everywhere. So that's why. Yeah.
When eBay and when first got into eBay, sort of in the early 2000s, I was selling 1, 2, 3 kid for like I put it on auction thinking I'd get $100 or whatever, I'd be happy. I ended up going for 200, and I'm thinking I won the lottery. You know what I mean? Selling this toy that I bought, only 4 or 5 years ago for $5 for 200. I should have kept them, but anyway.
Yeah, but any toy that you saw on eBay back in the day, like when I bought my Sergeant Slaughter for $100 US, and this is back like 2007, 8, I thought it was expensive, right? Now I wish I bought them all.
Yeah, I hear. Oh
well. It is what it is.
We can't tell the future. You don't know when the bubble's going to burst either.
But if you're in it to make the money, yeah, sure. But if you're into to collect, it doesn't really matter what the value is. Like if someone offered me $700 US or $800 US for my Slaughter, I'm going to still say no, right?
No,
because
there's some things you don't want to sell,
right? So, but if you're in it for the money, the bubble will burst one day. But I'm not in it to sell my collection, right? So as you can see by my collection I have, right? There's no way I'm going to fucking sell all those, right?
Well, the bubble may burst, but does the bubble wrap ever burst?
Oh my God! Don't get me started with that.
I think something for a little bit later.
So why don't we talk about bubble wrap with Duarte Da Ponte?
With all the crazy things going on in the past and present, we have a man who will tell you exactly how he sees it. Come on! With Duarte Da Ponte.
So the other day I was, obviously scrolling through eBay and Kijiji and all those sites to see if there's any good deals. I came across the bubble wrap mail away for $199. That's US. I couldn't believe it. I saw that. I'm like, I'm going to go to fucking Walmart. I'm going to buy 10 pounds of bubble wrap, put a little shiny sticker, and I'm going to sell it. When I saw that, I'm like, come on! Who the fuck's going to pay $199 for that? Like, who's crazy? Would you guys pay that much?
Okay, I've got a question for you.
Okay,
I've got a question for you. I don't know much about this Sergeant Slaughter Hasbro LJN wannabe figure because I've never owned one and I'm not.
That's why you're saying that.
Like you. So
no, that's what you're saying.
My question is.
Okay.
My question is, right? When it came in that bubble wrap, was the bubble wrap sealed or was it sticky taped? It was sealed, was it?
I don't know. I was like, I was 6. When that figure came out, I was 6, 7 years old, and I got deported back to Portugal. I don't fucking know.
Okay, listeners, if anyone's listening, can you please tell us, was the bubble wrap sealed or was the bubble wrap, accessible to open or close? Because that would be a big difference on if that bubble wrap's ripped open, surely it's worth nothing. But if it's a resealable bubble wrap, maybe that would put more than $200 onto your Sergeant Slaughter figure. Duarte, you've got your book.
I was trying to find
tell us.
I know. I was trying to find a book that the page where the slaughter was, because you said it's not part of the collection. If it's in the book, it's part of the collection. The guys who say that's not part of the collection are the ones that don't own it. The ones that do have.
This is not time to debate.
It's not a debate. It's not, but it's not even a debate.
All right, look. If I owned it, I would keep it, but I don't own it. I would probably mold it, actually. Shh, I didn't say
but
that.
It's just crazy just to see all the crazy prices people are putting stuff out there that who's going to bite. But whoever buys that bubble wrap, my God.
I want to know more about the bubble wrap. I want to know if it's resealable. I want to know if it's been ripped open.
Well,
I don't know.
If you don't have the LJN Wrestling Superstars book by Brutus Valentine, get yourself a book and you'll read all about it. Come on.
I do have it, but Brutus is sort of unsure whether it's in his book, I think. Brutus? Is it in your book?
No, the image is in the book with the bubble wrap, and that was contributed by everyone's favourite person, Zorro Mendez, contributed that image. But I don't know. I've seen the box also that it came in, and that came after publication. I'm assuming it's sealed, but I can't presume that until we have some people who know. And so an assumption.
So who the hell would cut open the bag and back in the day keep the bubble wrap bag? No one. But so that would have had to have been cut open by someone more recently. And who would cut open a sealed?
You think someone's using that bag as a receipt to get some money back on what they paid for it?
I think it looks like a slaughter bag, but how can you be sure it's a slaughter bag?
Unless it's a fucking bubble wrap bag. That's
it's bubble wrap. I mean, at the end of the day, it's bubble wrap. Whether it's whether it used to hold the. I'm not. I must admit,
I get your point.
I'm not very sentimental when it comes to the packaging. I kept bubble wrap.
There is an argument there.
I kept all the cards for my open Hasbros in a box. And when I did a big clean out a couple of years ago, I was going to throw these things out, and I just did a Google search, and someone paid, I'm going to say $70 for my green card card backs.
Oh,
I've got a few off you too.
Yeah, I think I was shocked. I was like, wow.
I'm just shocked that people kept it.
Well, I mean, look,
like if I open something up, the package is going right in the garbage. Then if there's instructions, it goes in the garbage too. I don't keep the box; it's just trash. I'm just astonished that people actually keep the packaging, especially
not that there's really mint slaughters around. But if you had a close to mint slaughter and you had the bag, you'd probably put it with the bag, correct?
Yeah, but the slaughter would have mold. Every slaughter molds, no matter what. It has little green spots.
Exactly. Whether it's in the bag or not, though.
I don't know. But whatever. There's 199. All I know is 199 for a piece of bubble wrap. Come on, get out of here.
There we go. Well done, Duarte.
That dragged on for so much longer than I thought it was going to.
It's a good thing, that one.
We got value out of that segment. Well done. Well done.
We got at least 99 cents. I was wondering, it said the postage was $4.25, I think. Do they send the bubble wrap inside a bubble wrap?
What?
Good question.
Do they send the bubble wrap inside a bubble wrap?
Yeah. For protection.
Hey, they probably should at that price.
Yes.
You'd hate for any of the bubbles to burst on the way to you, because every one of that bit of air in them bubbles is worth money.
That's right. Like Angelina Jolie's vials of air that used to be sold.
Oh, Angelina Jolie. What happened to her?
Sorry.
She's still around?
One of the joys of being in lockdown is something called homeschooling.
Yes.
Don't start me on homeschooling.
I'm certainly not a teacher. Let's just put it that way.
But your kids are going to have excellent applied learning knowledge when they go back into the classroom. So for maths, I'll say, yes, okay, so can you do this equation? Well, actually, there were 70 figures plus one, Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah.
And then all the stories I'd say, my daddy plays with little dolls all day. He's got about 1,000 of them.
I'm sure that there's some weird looks, but anyway, I think I got a package delivered to once, and it got sent to the person across the road, and they opened it up, and I could just imagine the look on someone's face when they opened up and saw, literally, it was about 13 just action figure heads in this packet, and I could just imagine what this guy's thinking. What the fuck is this person
What's this
across the road doing?
across the road?
He collects doll heads.
Well, at least it wasn't Zash's order from lovehoney.com. So,
hey, where's all the comments, guys? Remember, I'm giving away a Pearl glow in the dark figure. If you're watching, get those comments in, guys. I don't care what you say in the comments. Say something. Ask Brutus something. Tell Brutus how beautiful he looks today. Say anything or anything at all. But right now, it's time for life hacks. So, life hacks. I've got a picture from Brutus.
not yet. We're just hold on the picture if you don't mind, because the sender asked to hold that. Yeah.
Oh, they don't want to show it.
No, so it's a letter, and it's not as long as last time. Okay.
Thank God.
Oh.
That last time
well,
was fucking forever.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
some of those collectors are a bit OCD. So should I go for it? Okay.
Go for it.
So,
I want to see some comments during while he's reading out this letter, guys. Remember, if you want to win this figure, I want to hear from you. Go.
Okay. So this is a letter. Michael Sheens writes, "Hello, LJN Life Hacks."
Sheens.
Michael Sheens. That's what it says.
Sorry. Okay, go.
Okay, last week my beloved, beautiful wife of 25 years sat me down and said we had to talk. She said that I'm spending too much time admiring my LJN collection and not enough time admiring her. She said that the time has come to make a decision. It's her or the LJNs. Well, what could I do with an ultimatum like that? I've heard the market is really strong at the moment, so I've got two questions for you guys. First off, so I need your advice. Is it the right thing for me to sell now? So in one word, guys, what do you reckon? Is it the right time for me to sell now?
Well, yes. If you're looking for money, yes. My answer would be.
Yeah, if you're looking for money,
but
sell.
It's a guess. It's a guess. Who knows what the future is going to hold? But I would guess yes.
And Peter, what do you think?
Well, selling collectibles. If you hold it, it could go up in value. But if you need the money now, it's worth as much as it is today. If you hold on to it, it could be worth less. It could be worth more. That's
Yep. Sorry. Yep.
If you need the money today.
Yep. So
that's what I reckon.
Michael Sheens, there's some good advice for you. Now, Zaash, Michael sent through an image of what he plans to sell that he wants to put on offer to people, and so
I'll show the image.
Show the image.
I couldn't get it on my computer because I've got internet issues, but I've got it on my phone. So
okay, and he asked, if so, how much do you think I could get for her?
Mate, that's a rare figure. Who is it?
That's his wife.
His wife? What, there was a figure made of his wife? An LJN figure? She's a good-looking bird,
Homeschooling's going well. He said,
mate.
So,
I'd ask $30 for that
okay.
all day.
I think what Michael was saying was he had to sell the LJNs or her, and so he's going to sell her.
Michael Sheems, we love you. You're just as good as Michael Sheems, we love you. You're just as good as, what was the last guy we had on?
That was Gilbert Poindexter. Do you want me to get his letter? I've still got it. Wait a second.
No, we don't have enough time in this episode to read that one out.
Okay. Right.
Oh, awesome. Well, guys, that was an amazing segment from Michael Sheems. He sounds like Michael Weems. It's not Michael Weems, is it? Pretending to be someone else.
So. No.
We know he's a big fan of the Figure Guys podcast, which is on every Tuesday. Well, not every Tuesday, because what is it? You're on the Figure Guys podcast, Brutus. They're having a couple of weeks off, are they?
I think so. I'm not sure if it's on next week or not, but yeah, there's been a few lineup changes in guest availability, and so you have to balance it for when people are available. Yeah.
Sure. Well, the Figure Guys podcast is a podcast I've done many episodes on as well. I started there from the beginning. I think I got up to 20-odd shows on there. It's a great podcast. It's on most Tuesdays, so keep an eye out for that one with David Fine. But right now, it's time for Custom Hacks.
Are you a customizer? New to the game? Or looking to learn some new moves? Well, join us as we take you behind the curtain and backstage with Zaash Mann. Ask him questions. Learn all of his top secrets as we give you custom hacks with the plan, Zaash Mann.
All right. I've got no demonstrations for you today, but I want to get some questions from the guys. Earlier on, someone, Facebook user, said, and you've got to remember to let StreamYard access your name. So someone said, I want to hear the hardest part of any of the customizing process. Hardest part of a customizing process.
That's from Amit Verma.
Okay. Hey, Amit. He does a lot of heads, rubber heads. That's Amit, isn't it?
He does.
Yep. A lot of rubber heads and rubber parts, which takes it's a pretty decent process to do. There's a lot more waiting time and stuff doing rubber parts. So he's a very patient man, and he does a great job of them. So thanks for watching the show. Is it Amit? Amit, is that how you say it right?
It's Amit. It's Amit.
Amit. Yeah. So thanks for watching the show, mate. Look, I think the hardest part for me is the fine details of the painting, which I enjoy the challenge of. Personally, the sculpting side of things is something that can be a very difficult process, depending on what sort of level you want to go to. You watch guys like Mark Cockram, and the likes of Esposito. What's that? Esposito.
Jason.
Jason Esposito. Them kind of guys, and even Tom Ward does a lot of extreme sculpting where they'll cut off elbows, cut off knees, bend things into different ways. And Nick Johnson's another guy who did it with his Hogan figure, and he does it. He's doing a couple of other LJNs at the moment. So sculpting can be a very challenging thing. I sort of like to keep my sculpting kind of simple, in the respect of if you do a lot of sculpting as well and you're using rubber, every bit of clay that you're putting on these joints has the tendency to crack over time because rubber bends and epoxy doesn't, or resin doesn't. So once you're combining rubber with epoxy and clay, you're combining hard with soft, you bend the rubber and it'll peel away from the epoxy or the resin quite easily. So it would be probably a good idea to use all resin in in extreme sculpting situations. That way, the epoxy is going to stick to the resin. There's going to be no bending, and you'll get a lot more longevity out of your figure. Let's face it, we put hours and hours into these figures. You don't want them to, after a year, look like they're ready for the bin. So sculpting, can be hard, but painting for me in fine detail, eyes and stuff like that, is where I spend a lot of my time. So appreciate that question. And that's all I'm going to say on custom hacks for this week. You guys look so bored. What's wrong with Brutus?
No, I was listening to every word. I was thinking you pretty much hit the nail on the head.
Brutus was getting me back for last week. That's what it was. When he was reading that Point Dexter story, he was getting me. I should have done a close up of him. I'll get you for that, Brutus.
Oh, we don't want to close up. 18 months of lockdown on and off, 250 plus days. Close up's not good. I mean, this is. But yeah, it'll be interesting to hear what Peter says. Peter's a master, and it's got so many things. So.
He is, I mean, and I really wanted to show some videos of yours, Peter, but I just can't do it. Have you got some figures there?
I've got some next to me I can show you if you
don't buy the Kmart internet.
So this is one of the latest ones I did. So what I've done here is I've tried to, with these LJN ones, is I've tried to keep them very simple, and that's, I guess, all my figures I try to keep them as simple as possible. I do use decals in a lot of them, but I try to keep them simple. So, that's the Kamala. I tried to keep the paint scheme and all the details and everything the same as the LJN, and I try and get the position of the arms and legs as close as possible, but it's not always possible with these guys. There's a Billy Jack Haynes.
Great colours.
Again, trying to keep it all together. One of my favourite ones that I just recently did, but I wasn't expecting it to look as good as the Heart Foundation. So again, I've tried to keep the positioning of the arms and the as close as possible.
Do the arms move at all or no? Or they're like
no. I came to the decision a long time ago that the effort involved in making these arms move is not worth the time or the extra cost, considering most people will put these on a shelf. And
that's true.
If someone wants moving ones, there's plenty of guys that make official Hasbros that use official Hasbro bodies but it's just too hard in Australia to find the characters that you need to make good ones. I mean, if you want to make everyone out of a bushwhacker or a Rockers tag team, you're good to go because you can get them cheap. But if you want to use any of the decent bodies, and one of the other things I do, this isn't an LJN one, but one of the things I've been doing recently is using decals. So, I mean, I'm not an artist by any stretch of the imagination. I couldn't even attempt to try and paint something like that. So that's a full decal outfit. So I basically print the decal and then put it on the figure and then paint around it to get it to look like an actual outfit. So most of these I do for myself, and I guess Zaash and I talk about this a lot, is finding things outside the box. I mean, Hasbro's never got a lady figure, and I think LJN only got one, so you're sort of limited to what you can do. But there's a great line that you can buy quite cheaply that you can turn, make female wrestlers out of. So that's
what's that line? Are you going to tell us the line, or is that a secret?
Yeah, it's a Funko rock candy. So there's no secret. A lot of people use them. I'm not inventing the wheel by using these. I stole the idea or borrowed the idea from someone. So, and I mean, I'm happy to tell anyone how to do any of these, because I'm not going to try and think that I invented making these things or I'm doing anything differently than probably 50 other people could do. There's another one. This one isn't finished yet. That's China. So
Yeah, that's awesome, that one. We've got a few comments. Craig Powers is saying you're a true master, Zaash. Did anyone see that?
Thank you.
No, Zaash.
Oh, Zaash is
He
a
said
master.
Zaash.
Of course he is. Yeah.
But
So
I just
and this
I
is
just
a
wanted to
Harley race. So,
take that credit. But listen, we've got who's that one that's asking Peter Poulos if his customs are for sale?
That is I've lost that one. That's Mr. Snoots, Harvey Snoots.
Harvey Snoots. If you're interested, I'm pretty sure Peter does sell his custom. Do you sell them?
yeah, I do. But I'm very careful not to take on more than I can handle. If that
Well,
makes sense.
Harvey Snoops will only want Hulk Hogan's. He won't want anything
Okay.
else. I guarantee that. So if you,
I've only
if
got
you
a,
want,
I brought a Hulk Hogan, but it's a more common, a more recent one. So Mattel brought out a line probably 4 or 5 years ago called the Mattel Retros, which are basically figures that look like Hasbro's. And what I've done is I've really mixed and matched the two figure lines to get more, to get more parts available.
yeah.
So you'll find some of my parts are Hasbro, some of them are retro, and whatever works best is what I do. There's a Corporal
That
Kirshner.
looks great.
Yeah. And that Harley race was good that I talked over just before. I apologise for that. That was a
No,
nice
that's all
one
right.
as well.
That's all right.
I've also
And,
got someone calling me a master baiter now. So that kind of evens up the first compliment from Craig. I like Craig's
I was very
comment
good
a
at that in
little
my
bit better.
teen years too. So there's Terry Funk.
Yeah.
So,
That's cool.
It's great the way you're pulling them up. We see the colours emerge first, and you go, "Oh, here comes Funk."
Yeah.
So
it's
really good.
So I guess that's sort of what I've been trying to do is make as many of these as I can to look like the LJNs. I've only got a small room to have these things, so I don't know. Zaash, did you have those photos of my wall?
Oh, look, I've got them on my phone. I can't do anything on the computer today, being Wi-Fi. If I put anything up on the computer, I risk losing my internet. But I don't know whether you guys could see.
Yeah.
This is his collection.
Unbelievable. Look at that. Yeah.
I won't flick through my phone because you might get more than you bargained for. But
yeah. So I guess like all of us do, growing up as a kid, I was always looking. We didn't have the internet to see who was coming out. Used to go to the shops. Every time you go to the shops, you'd go, is there going to be any new characters on the wall? And in Australia, you saw Roddy Piper and Hulk Hogan. That was about the only ones you saw on the shelves quite regularly here.
Yeah, exactly.
And I always want to see new guys. I want to see this, and a lot of them didn't show up. That's why I thought, hey, I can start making my own. I don't have to wait for someone to make them.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah. Out of all the viewers we've got there watching now, is there anyone that thinks they know more than Brutus? Come on, anyone know more than Brutus?
I got him last time. I got him last time, and I was happy.
Can't be that hard.
We should address that.
Go ahead, address it. I'll listen.
You have 30 seconds, listeners, to think of something that will stump Brutus Valentine.
And now, it's your chance to challenge the big historian himself. Ask a question or try to stump the LJN Mastermind. Ladies and gentlemen, how's that? With the Fixtorian, Brother Brutus Valentine.
Let's hear it, guys. Who can stump the master? Where's these questions? Have you taken a boss man and converted him to an Akeem? Yes, I have, but Brutus hasn't. Has Hogan has to be Hogan for Harvey Snitch? Yeah, for sure. Okay, so we haven't got trivia. Craig Powers, come on, you're a smart man. I can tell that from your previous messages.
Okay.
No one got that.
Well, while we're waiting for people to formulate questions, last time Duarte had a fantastic question for me on Hasbro's, which I thought would be about LJN. And I think you said there was 4 Hasbro's released that could quite conceivably have been released as LJNs, either as a different character or at that time. So that was correct. That's people like Owen Hart, you know. It could have been the Blue Blazer and IRS, you know, as Mike Rotundo and Mr. Perfect. So is that correct, Duarte? That's what the question was?
I can't remember the question. I could barely form the sentence last time.
Okay, well, I can tell you now that there's actually 17, not 4.
No. Who?
Oh, yeah. I'll do it quickly. Okay, so there, of course,
I'm gonna have to watch this again tomorrow just to know what the question is. Okay, but go ahead.
So there's actually Dusty Rhodes and the American Dream, the Bushwhacker Luke and Bushwhacker Butch, of course, the Rockers, Marty Jannetty and Shawn Michaels. You have both Smash and Repo Man Hasbro, who could have been corresponding with Smash LJN, Earthquake and the Canadian Earthquake, Typhoon and Tugboat, Sergeant Slaughter, of course, and Sergeant Slaughter, the Mountie as Jacques Rougeau, Virgil and Virgil, IRS and Mike Rotundo, Owen Hart, the Blue Blazer, Mr. Perfect, a really good one you had, which stumped me, Doink and Matt Bourne, and of course Fatu, who could have been the Tonga Kid or Tama from the Islanders. That's 17 in total.
In your face, Duarte.
I'm going to watch this tomorrow because right now I have no idea what he was talking about. He was saying all these names, and I'm just trying to remember what question I asked him.
Duarte's on his 10th split right now, and I'm
trying to remember what I asked him last week. And now he's asking me a question and saying there's 17? Come on. I gotta investigate.
So all I can say for that is, how's that?
Okay, you got me. Okay. For now, you got me until next time.
Until next time,
well,
that's right.
Well, you've stumped everyone today, Brutus, because no one can even come up with a question for you that would possibly challenge the Fig historian himself. So we challenge everybody for next week to think of something that would challenge this guy who thinks he knows everything.
Just quick question.
Brutus know everything.
Yep.
Brutus, do you consider the Cody Rhodes LJN part of the collection?
No.
Agreed.
Right.
Okay, Craig's come up with something. What wrestling line of figures were recalled due to lead in the paint?
Well, I don't know, because I thought these were questions about LJN, so I have no idea. All I can say is that lead paint used to be used a lot in Chinese and Hong Kong manufacturing, and one of the problems was kids would lick their toys and their dolls, and that would start to cause issues with brain damage. And of course, no wrestling fan would show brain damage. So I don't know. That would be interesting for Craig to let us know. Is Craig going to type his answer through? Now,
I've got to imagine it's going to be an early figure because it's not something that would have been post Jax. So I'm gonna say San Francisco Toys.
Yeah, I'd go for Popey.
What?
Okay, what's the answer,
Yeah,
Craig?
I'd go for Popey as well.
What is Popey? Whatever you said.
The Japanese line, the first true line.
Craig, post your answer.
Post your answer.
The suspense is killing me.
The dollar stores carried the AA toy lines of figures.
Oh, that's a question like saying, what color underwear do I have on? Well, I know. But anyway, Craig.
AA toy lines. AA. Okay. I'll look them up. I'll look them up.
Yep.
Just don't let your kids lick them.
Okay, here's my question to Brutus. When is your new book coming out? And are you going to feature more custom work? Don't buy all this. Did I read that wrong?
I think that's meant to be done. Yeah.
Done by all the special artists in your new book.
Yeah, well, I'd hope to have it out by about June 2022. But in the meantime, this is seriously, guys, this is what I have been working on at the moment, and they have to take precedence because that's what I do for real, and that's actually not going very well at the moment, but that's another story. So I'd hope around about May to June 2022, Book 2, the figures of the Golden Age WWF who did not get an LJN, and there's about 115 profiles I've got in that, all using custom figures.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Do you know some of the artists that you've already got in the book, or is there some new guys that weren't in the book last time?
Yeah, and the idea is to work with a base range of artists. Sin Bodhi's contributing a lot of figures for it. Zaash, of course, the old stable of Joe Gatter. Oh, it's Joe Gatter. Off the top of my head, Kevin Swales, of course, Nick Hales, and of course, I always like to use contrast, and so it's good to have a style, and then the next profile features a different sort of style. Hopefully,
Right.
BD Haynes, I can get some of his originals in there to stand in for a particular one. But
DDP?
BD Haynes, the
No,
original master.
is DDP in it?
Diamond
The man
Dallas
above
Page.
you. The man
Well,
above
I'm
you.
not sure. I'm not sure yet. I have to see. They also might be asking some people for just a single figure for a profile. That would be really good, and that way I can increase the range. But one final thing I also want to do is have a 2 or 4 page spread of people who have captured the LJN releases, but in different costumes. And that gives a chance to get about 70 or more customizers in. So they might have Hulk Hogan in a different thing all the way through. And that would be good. And also wouldn't mind sneaking in some of these guys, I don't know if you know any, who do Hasbro's in the LJN style and doing a double page spread of that would be good too.
That's a good idea. There you go, Peter Poulos. Your moment of fame being in the second LJN book and not even being an LJN customizer.
More than happy to contribute some images, no problem.
And Craig Powers has asked an excellent question, but we might save that for the Stump Brutus for next week one, because that's really good. And we've just had Nisha Dali come in, who was the winner last time with the Benny Hill question.
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, look, let's shoot on to that then, shall we? Let's pick a winner for the glow in the dark figure. I'm definitely voting Craig Powers. He's on fire tonight. He's said some very nice things to me. I'm just going back to the message that he wrote earlier. I'm a true master. Can I just? Hey, look at that! Look at that! I'm going to show my wife that later, and she's going to laugh at something off. But anyway, look, this is your choice here, Brutus. I'm not going to influence you whatsoever. But not many people have actually put their names up, have they? They're all Facebook users.
Well,
Maybe
you
can
might
see
not see all the names, but I reckon Craig Powers has contributed significantly, and he's actually all taught us something that we're going to go look at. We're going to look at the AA toy lines, the dollar stores, and see those. So I reckon that's a worthy winner, Craig. And your question is something I'd like to address next week about the Genius and Corporal Kirchner, because it's all about timing. But anyway, we can get onto that next week.
For sure. All right. Congratulations, Craig Powers. I had no influence on that either. That was Brutus's idea, his choice. And that question you asked there, we're going to write that down or take a snapshot of it, right, Brutus? And you're going to answer that next week? Because we're running out of time for this week, guys. We're going to let the show be at rest. So thank you all for watching. Catch us all
Thanks
next
for having
week.
me.
Thank you.